My cat's deciding now it's a good time to take a shit. That's why I'm recording this. Today I'm going to be looking at the Logitech G502 Proteus Spectrum. This is not a new mouse. I believe it came out a few years ago, maybe last year. I don't really know. They had the Proteus Core before this. I think the only difference is this one has RGB and the other one was only blue or something like that. I don't really use lights on my peripherals, so I don't really care. This is just the one I could find. It says on the box here that I paid $80 for this. I did not pay $80. I paid, I think maybe 50 bucks, 60 bucks for this mouse, something like that, because it's a little bit older. It's got 11 buttons you can program. I believe it has the PMW 3366 sensor. It's a really good sensor. I've used a few other mice besides Logitech. I've owned some Steel Series. I owned the Zowie mouse at one time. I just like Logitech shape, and I think they make pretty much the most comfortable mice. So let's get into it. Their packaging is pretty minimal, to be quite honest. There's not much in it. One thing I do like that they do, you can kind of see here, they kind of like wrap the cord around the outside behind the actual mouse itself, and I just like that because it tangles a lot less than I guess some other people do. Like, I don't know, like tie it or some shit like that. I don't know. So you get nothing. You have to take it out through this thing, apparently. And you get weights, which I don't really use weights. This is already a pretty heavy mouse as it is. I don't know if I would put weights in this at all. One thing I do like about this mouse is it has that click wheel where it does like infinite scrolling, but it doesn't really work with like bunny hopping in CSGO, so I don't really know why you'd use it aside from like scrolling web pages and shit like that. Got a magnetic cover on the bottom, Teflon feet, which is good. Slides well. I use it on a cloth pad. Works well for that. I like this magnetic cover on the bottom. It's kind of fun to play with or whatever. I don't really like the look of this mouse at all. It looks like a fucking gamer mouse or something like that. This is supposed to be like their flagship mouse, but it looks like you're like hardcore gamer guy with this thing. I will say it feels really comfortable. You sort of have to be right-handed for it. It is set up as a right-handed mouse, but it's very comfortable right-handed. The buttons are, I believe, Omron switches. I believe Logitech uses Omron for their mouse switches. Feels pretty good. Scroll wheel feels good. This infinite scrolling thing is just interesting. You have, let's see here. You have 3 DPI settings, 5 on-the-fly adjustable DPI settings between 200 and 12,000. Why the fuck you would need 5 DPI settings, I have no idea, but they're there if you need them. This thing has a lot of buttons. Okay, so you get the 2 clicks, obviously. You got the scroll wheel. You got this button that clicks the scroll wheel from infinite scroll to non-infinite scroll. You got the DPI shift. That's all pretty normal. You got these 2 weird side buttons, and I'm kind of worried that my finger would click them when I'm trying to right-click my mouse. If you're clicking very fast, these might get in the way. You got 2 side buttons down here, and then you got this button for, I don't know, more DPI shifts or some shit. Who cares? There's the weights, if you guys want to see that. Oh yeah, there you go. You can put more weights in it. That goes on the bottom. Why you'd want to add more weight to this, I don't know. It's already a pretty heavy mouse. I know it's over 100 grams, but I don't know how much over. I didn't look into it, okay? The only other thing I got with it is a note. This is a note from my ex-wife. Yeah, she sent this over. I had this delivered to my house. This is not my house. This is an apartment that I'm living in, that I get to live in because we're divorced. It does say love Karen on there, so, you know, that's a good sign. Yeah, I don't know. So overall, I think this is a decent mouse to buy in 2018 still. There's a few Logitech mice out right now that might be a little better than this, or just a few mice in general. I will say one thing I really have against Logitech is the cables. They're just too fucking thick. Like, that's the only real issue with their mice in my opinion. Like, why, like, I understand you want to be like premium and you want to come off as premium because you're charging a decent amount of money for your mice and shit, but like, why? Like, just give me a nice rubber cable that's not as heavy as this. The shit just drags, and I don't understand. But other than that, I think it's an overall pretty good mouse. I would definitely recommend it. I don't know if I'd recommend it if you're into like super competitive type shit, but for just general mousing usage, casual gameplay, this will work really, really well. I have fairly large hands, fat hands, I guess. Large and fat. This fits my hand pretty well. I imagine it would for people with smaller hands as well, because it feels even, I don't know if it's a little small even, I would say, but I like the thumb rest on the bottom over here. The sides are textured, top is plastic. I have kind of seen that people say this texture kind of wears away eventually, but I've had that experience with like every mouse I've ever used. I've never used one where it doesn't wear away over time, so I don't really know how much of a concern that is. I'd say bigger concerns are why I wasn't able to come pick this up at my house. I had it sent here to this shit apartment. But other than that, good mouse. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next video.